All right, folks, we are here at UK Games Expo. I'm here with Jamie from Shadowborne Games. You guys are known for Oathsworn Into the Deepwood, which is an absolutely massive, adventurous game for people to dive into. People have been having fun with that for ages. If people don't know about that, what's it all about?
So Oathsworn Into the Deepwood is this crazy, unique campaign set in the Deepwood. The Deepwood has come and destroyed the whole world. Mankind's trying to survive, living off scraps in these fortified cities, islands in a sea of deafened trees, and the monsters are coming out to attack people. And you play the free company, sort of standing in the breach between mankind and what comes out of the woods. And so that was a crazy big campaign game. We spent 5 years making that one. Very grim, very dark, in the trudging through the mud and the blood of the Deepwood now. And and this is our new game. This is Avalon.
Yes, new game, Avalon The Riven Veil, which looks absolutely amazing. Got those fantastic Arthurian vibes. You were telling me a little bit off camera that this may have come from a strange place when it was being designed and sort of thought up, yeah?
Oh yeah, well, so basically about a couple of years ago I got COVID and I was tripping balls in a fever dream, and then this game came to mind, and specifically all the crazy colours and this mystical, magical, wondrous land of mist and magic, and so I went out to find an artist who could kind of make this thing come to life, and I found someone who was as crazy as my fever dream, and that's Aitor over here from Spain. He did 160 unique pieces of art, all these wonderful, crazy cool pieces of art that he's done there for the game, and really just bringing Avalon to life in all the mystery and wonder. And so we, a couple of years later, now we're here with Avalon The Riven Veil.
And this is coming to crowdfunding very soon, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, next few months, sort of at the end of Q3, beginning of Q4, we're going to be bringing this to life. We're just polishing the edges now and filling in the corners, as Tolkien would say, and getting it done.
So what's the background to Avalon The Riven Veil then?
So the story goes that the very first information we ever have about Arthur in history is there is a single line that says Arthur and Mordred fell at Camlan Field. It's several hundred years before we get anything more about them, and they start filling in the story. And so no one really knows what actually happened that day on Camlan Field where Arthur and Mordred fell. And so in our story, Arthur and Mordred fought each other. The father fights the son, he destroys the son, shatters him with Excalibur, and Arthur receives a mortal wound and gets taken back to Avalon by the Lady of the Lake. This is where our story departs from what will be written in the histories, though, because in our world, when Mordred is shattered by Excalibur, his true form is revealed as a badass Dark Lord necromancer who tweaks the nipples of death, and instead of dying, he refuses and instead follows Arthur's body through the mist of Avalon, through the mist to Avalon. And Avalon is a place that is a Fey realm, disconnected from the mortal realm. It cannot be found by somebody. They can only be found if you know where it is. And he finds it by following the Lady of the Lake's boat. He goes to Avalon. He puts unholy feet on hallowed ground, and the second he does that, a rift comes through space and time, and magic starts pouring out of Avalon into the world like a beacon to all those with the second sight. And so all of the factions of the world now know Avalon exists, and they're all heading towards it to either defile or defend it, and that's the premise of the game.
Absolutely amazing. In my head, I have Mordred in a Tobey Maguire Venom emo phase, kind of like sauntering into Avalon, maybe, but maybe a little bit cooler than that.
Here's our Mordred. So in our Mordred, all our lords here have these great two-tone plastics, so you can see where he's been shattered by Excalibur there, and his magic is pouring out, all of his death magic is pouring out, all their weapons glow. We have this thing in saying, so when we're making Oathsworn, we said we're always living the grey area of morality, everything like that. In this game, we say everything glows in Avalon, and so we've got all our lords are glowing with these cool two-tone plastics that we're going to have. This here is Guinevere. She's the one who's responding to Mordred's presence on Avalon, leading the knights into Avalon, and hopefully to find her lost love, King Arthur, who she knows is the once and future king.
Of course. So, gameplay-wise, how does it play? What's the sort of vibe of it all?
All right, so this is an area control game. So in the kind of heritage of games like Blood Rage and Lords of Hellas and Ankh and Rising Sun, all those sort of games. And so it's a do's on a map game. But this game has a big focus on exploration, and it also has quite a few interesting Euro-thematic elements as well. So what you're doing in the game is, as you go through the game, you'll be exploring these regions in Avalon. Avalon starts off completely hidden, and every time you get a new different setup to the game, it's all a sort of random setup. And as you explore, you'll be flipping these tiles over, and getting into these different regions. And as you get into the regions, you're going to get inspiration bonuses, you're going to see what regions you can fight over and how much they're going to be worth in the battles to come. And not only that, you're also going to be getting these mist cards. And as you flip these mist cards over, they're going to be revealing different things. So they can reveal artifacts, and these are like legendary artifacts of power, and you're going to be able to equip these on your lords over here. Your lords can carry 2 artifacts, your champions can carry 1 each. They make them stronger, they give them unique effects, so your factions become asymmetric through all these ability and powers you gain. They're worth a butt ton of victory points, and they give a really good focus for battle. So there's a set bunch of areas you want to be focusing on, getting these rewards. The other thing you can find there is mythical beasts. So as the mythical beasts come, Avalon is full of the most wonderful magical creatures, and we've got all these incredible beasts and creatures.
They look absolutely gorgeous, really nice.
And when they turn up, you can bid for their allegiance, and you can gain those, you can have those for the rest of the game as you go. So you're exploring, getting rewards, getting mythical beasts, getting artifacts, and you're pressing further up and further into Avalon. The deeper you go, the bigger the rewards get, the more interesting things get as you go. Now,
I was going to say, it seems like there's a really nice balance there between sort of vying for effectively victory points for areas, but then also trying to get the items and the beasts and things on side. So even if you're like, oh, in a lot of kind of like area control dudes on the map games, you might look at stuff and be like, I'm not going to go for there, it's not really worth a lot of victory points. But because you've got the different options in these different areas, there's a reason to come and explore the different regions and stuff like that and fight in them.
Yeah, and so you're always questioning, like, is it right time to consolidate, get some dudes into those areas you know are valuable, or do you just want to go into that other region, see what's in there, see what's over the hill, see what cool stuff awaits you in the rest of Avalon? Yeah. So, and all the time you're doing this, there's even other cool stuff you can find. So somewhere out there, hidden in the mist, is the Holy Grail. So the Holy Grail is waiting for you somewhere, an incredibly potent area to go and fight over and get that. And so you can be the Grail bearer. Not only that, but whilst you're doing this, you can be the Lady of the Lake is out there in some lake, handing out swords as she does.
As she does.
And so you have these prophecies you can fulfill, and she's prophesying over who will be the future ruler. And so whoever completes those prophecies best and quickest, they're going to go up this favour track over here. Whoever's at the top of the favour track at the end of the season, they're going to get Excalibur. Oh. And Excalibur is waiting for the worthy lord, and they can carry that into battle. The most powerful artifact in the game. It wins all ties, it's super powerful, extra strength. And so you're vying for that. So you've got the Grail, you've got Excalibur, and then you've actually got the card play itself, what you're actually doing. Okay. So in the game, you have multi-use cards. There are 5.
I like that.
So you've got these different cards, and you can see every single one of them is unique, every one of them is different. There are no repeats in the entire game, but they are vaguely put into different categories. Okay. So over here you have combat cards that give you bonuses in combat. You have settlement cards that are going to help you place settlements and outposts on Avalon. Movement cards that are going to let you get around, and deploy cards that are going to get you stuff out your supply onto the board. And what you're going to be doing is you play a card, at the beginning of the turn, everyone at the table simultaneously going to play a card down. And whenever you play a card, there is a cost attached to the card. And so first use of the card is you play it for its effect. Okay. Second use of the card is you have to use cards to pay for cards. Everyone
even more decision making in that sense as well. Yeah.
It's starting to get crunchy. Yeah. Right. Well, now we put these cards down face down. Next, everyone who's having their turn, they flip over a card. And there's the third use for the card, is the initiative. This number in the top hand corner here, whoever's quickest gets to go first. And that means you guys are exploring first. You're going to be getting those prophecies done first. And so that's another advantage of the cards. And then when you're exploring, we talked about these beasts over here. We talked about being able to try and gain them and get their influence. That's a bid. So you're bidding cards out of your hand for those things. But if you bid for them, you're not playing those cards, you're not playing them for reasons.
They're not using the actions, you're not using for initiative, all that kind of stuff.
Doing that, exactly. And then finally, once you've explored, you've got your forces in place, you're ready for a good old ruck, then the combat cards and things come out, and you can use all these cards in combat to beef up your combat as well. So how are you spending them, where you're spending, super, super important in the game. It gets ultra crunchy. And the game's a 2 to 4 player. It takes about, so you get a 2-player game done in under 2 hours, 4-player game done in about 3, so it's about 2 to 3 hours depending on the player count. And as you're going around the board, you've also got this a whole bunch of other cool stuff as well. So the Green Knight is here.
It doesn't end.
The Green Knight is here. So the Green Knight, he is the epitome of chivalry. He fights for the least and the lost. And whoever is lowest on the victory point track at the end of the season, they're going to get the Green Knight. And they're going to be able to take him and use him as a champion in any of the battles that they're involved in. And then also on top of that, you've got different ways to play the game. So you can play a shorter game if you want it quicker than we just talked about, or you can play the full 3-season game. And on top of that, you also have asymmetric or symmetric factions. So if you want to play a game where it's kind of a bit simpler, a bit quicker to go, and you're playing basically the same factions but with different lord effects, you can do that. or you can go for this kind of ultra thematic version where you have these different asymmetries. So let me give you an example of the asymmetries here. Over here we have Guinevere. Guinevere is here for her husband. She knows that Arthur is the once and future king. So what she's going to do is she's coming into to Avalon to try and bring him back. And they have a faction objective, and if she gets enough artifacts, enough mystical power, she explores enough, she's going to be able to flip her lord board and resurrect a awesome godlike level Arthur. Yeah, he's got his like Super Saiyan mode, and he's coming in, and you're going to kick butt and take names, right? Also on top of that, they have unique named champions, where all the other factions have generic champions. They have the Percival, Galahad, Lancelot. They're there, and you can't choose them all, but you can choose which ones you bring in, and those ones get special powers. Let's compare that to the undead. The undead of him, Mordred's here. He's the shattered sun, right? He really, really wants to remake himself. So his thing is he can go around Avalon, and instead of gaining these mythical beasts, he can nom on them, and he can eat them for magical power. He gets stronger and stronger and stronger. If he gets strong enough, he brings himself back together and he becomes Mordred Ascendant, Lord of Death, and he twists his board over and he starts floating around. He starts teleporting around the board to different battles and becomes an absolute badass. At the same time, he's got 6 different settlements, which is called Altars of Bones. Whenever he wins a battle, he's putting these Altars of Bones around, and he's summoning skeletons out of the Altars of Bones and making huge shambling hordes that are going across Avalon. And so each of these factions is deeply asymmetric to start with. And then on top of that, you're getting your artifacts on top of that. And all of this is in the purpose of just kicking butt and ultimately getting the most amount of victory points you can to win the game.
I was going to say, in that description of Mordred, well, and Guinevere as well, I was thinking, this is incredibly metal. It is. You need some serious music on in the background when you're playing this, I think.
That's right. Well, I hear Slipknot's here at UK Game Expo, so they're going to be. There we go. But yeah, this is the stuff. This is kind of like all of our kind of like, you know, tropes and dreams from the 80s coming out in a board game.
The fever dream has become reality soon enough anyway, and it looks absolutely amazing. Sounds really cool. I am a big fan of the likes of Blood Rage and stuff like that. So a game in a similar vein mechanically, but with this really nice theme, and the asymmetry as well, I think is perfect for this kind of stuff. It means you're going to come back for repeat plays all the time. Modular board as well, love that. So you can come back after that 2-hour session, maybe try it again, switch up the board and go for it. Yeah.
Every time, different every time. And just so you know, guys, if you're interested in this at all, really suggest you go onto our website at www.shadowborn-games.com and look up Oathsworn or Avalon. You'll get to us. And because what we're doing is if you want, just sign up for the notify me, we'll send you one email just before the campaign goes live so you don't forget it, because if you're anything like me, you forget it the second you're not looking at the screen or actually looking at a person. And also, we're going to be giving away a day 1 bonus gift. We're giving away a dragon. There are 2 dragons on Avalon, and this is one of them. This is Vernax, the Mad God. He's a free model that you can get with his model card as well that you can play in the game. So that's going to be day 1. If you turn up with the campaign and join us, that's for you.
I'm a big fan of dragons, so that might be in my future. The Lady of the Lake has seen it. If people want to come and learn a little bit more about the game, hear from you and all kind of thing, where's your stand at UK Games Expo?
Our stand is here. Where are we?
At the top of the stairs.
At the top of the stairs.
If you look over there, Rob, you'll see exactly where we are. So there's the stairs. And Shadowborne Games is right here.
And you know, easy also, enough. Just as a quick thing, if you are here, this thing, we have an actual Excalibur here, a sword in the stone, in our booth over there. There's an Avalon booth. If you just walk over by the middle of Hall 2, you're going to find an Excalibur in the middle of a Stonehenge. You can come and get a free limited edition promo card just for people who are here, who can and you can get that and just get that as a free alternate Excalibur to play during the game. Just come and sign up for the notify. And also, if you want to come and take pictures, there's chances to win the game here today as well. So if you want to take a picture holding Excalibur, you're very welcome to do so.
I may or may not. I've already asked if I can run away with the sword, and apparently I'm not allowed to. But there we go. Thank you very much, Jamie. That sounds absolutely amazing. Make sure to check out Avalon The Riven Veil, coming soon to crowdfunding very, very soon. Sign up to all those newsletters and everything. We'll have links and everything in the description over on the live blog. Talking about the live blog, go and watch more videos from the rest of this weekend, as well as our live stream. Again, thank you, Jamie. That was fantastic. We'll see you in another video very, very soon. Bye for now.